So it's really interesting to hear you say that because you basically started from less than nothing. You were on the streets, you were homeless,
Yep.
and now you've got these massive portfolios. And I think a lot of people think, well, I can never do it. I can't because there's so many people out there, right, who have maybe own their own home or are renting or have kids or anything, right? But life happens to all of us, and there's a lot of maybe reasons why people think. They really, not only do they think, but they believe they can't do it, right?
Yes. Well, people get caught up with the mortgage and the car payment, and they become a slave to all of their stuff, and there's really nothing left over to invest, right? And we live on an economic planet, and I definitely I'm not against consumerism, but it does. It's either you have the consumer mindset or the investor mindset. And even if you gave people all of the money to invest, they still wouldn't do it unless the mindset changes, right? And so that was the first lesson that I had to learn about investing, is becoming an investor versus a consumer of things and stuff and a house and the keeping up with the Joneses, things like that. And I think people get caught up with that and they really can't let go. They become a slave to their stuff, where there's no room for them to even look at investing because they're consumed with all of this stuff.
Well, okay, so that begs the question then, how did you do it? Because it's easy to say, change your mindset, move from being a consumer to an investor.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess ideally you could just snap your fingers and do it because it is all a mindset, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the way the human psyche works.
Well, unfortunately, and I wish it wasn't like this, but unfortunately, I was faced with bankruptcy, right? I was faced with losing everything until I started to realize I had to do something. I'm actually the person that's in the driver's seat here. It's like that old story. I don't know if you've heard the story of the hound dog. And there's a guy sitting on a porch, there's a hound dog, and there's a guy walking by. And the guy walking by notices that the hound dog is sitting on the porch doing this. And the guy's like, the owner's right there. He's sitting right there, right beside his dog. And he's like, did you notice your dog is crying? He's like, oh, no, he's just sitting on a nail. And the dog is like, arr. So the guy is like, oh my God, why didn't he just get off the nail? And the guy's like, well, it doesn't hurt bad enough. And so sometimes, we are just sitting on this nail. We know it's uncomfortable. We know we want a different life, but it just doesn't hurt bad enough for us to actually do something about it. And that's so unfortunate, and like you said, it's not like you just snap your fingers and all of a sudden you have a different mindset. You got to really work on it. You got to work on yourself. The best investment that you can ever make is the investment on yourself. And so for me at that time, first thing I had to do is get myself a mentor, coaching, get around like-minded people. The problem was, even though I was successful, I was surrounded around the wrong people that were very consumer driven, and I have the best car, I have the best jewelry, I have the best house, all of the things. And that's kind of that's the world that I got caught up in. No one was talking about investing. And so when I was facing losing everything, I had to make a decision in my life. Either I lose everything or I actually change my life, the way I do things. And so what I did was I sold everything. I basically sold everything. I went from driving Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Cadillac Escalade, all at the same time, okay, to Dodge Neon. I sold my house, okay, so there's nothing wrong with the house. I bought thank God I bought a house, but all of my equity was stuck in that house. And, while, I had no income, my credit was shot. I had this one thing that actually had increased in value, was the house. The problem is the capital was trapped in this house. I had to sell my house, move my family, and it's uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable, right? No one, I'm in that house, I'm comfortable, but I'm complaining about the way things are. I'm sitting on that nail at that point. And so I had to be honest with myself and stand in my truth. This house is not serving me at this point. I'm 24 years old, right? I'm 24 years old. I have to move my family out of the house. We move into a duplex that we converted into a triplex, and we refied the capital that that I pulled from the house by selling the house. I had actual capital to work with, and I lived in that triplex for about 5 years until I built my portfolio. Once I built my portfolio, I used the passive income from my portfolio to buy myself a new house. And this is kind of how I got myself out of it. The same advice that I give my own daughter. My daughter, when she turned 21, the same daughter that changed my life back in, when I was 17 years old, she's now 27. And, she was like, Dad, like, I want to get a condo. And I'm like, sure, you can get yourself a condo, or you can build a portfolio that's going to pay for your house and whatever you want, whenever you want. And that's what she did. She's got about 13 doors now. And I asked her if she wants a condo. She's like, that doesn't make any money. So mindsets can shift. It's not overnight, but you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. You have to be willing to make a sacrifice. It's not for everyone. You don't have to sell the house to be successful. You don't have to, sell all the things that make you comfortable. But analyze and take inventory of where your money's going, and make sure that you're not working for the money instead of the money working for you.